go, chat.
Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying and chalk. I really hate the truth.
Alright, chat, what's up, guys? Alright, welcome back. Turn the music down a little bit. Welcome back to day 123. Current revenue is at $37,000. And today's going to be a good one. We're going to be grinding today for 4 hours. And we're going to be building out and deploying BridgeMind. We're going to be getting our infrastructure set up and ready to deploy. As you guys know, we do have our Vibathon coming up, and we have something that we're going to be working on, but I'll get to that in a minute. But as always, guys, today's going to be a good one. Let's get everything running here and get this pulled up, and let's get the chill music back on, and let me pull the chat up and we'll get started. All right, there we go. All right, let's go. All right, let's get the chill music on. But welcome back, guys. Let's talk a little bit about what's on the board today. I have up on the board, keep showing up. And the reason I have this up on the board is because, you know, I think that what's very interesting about this journey is that you guys are along for the ride. The ups, the downs, the successes, the failures, the things that I do correctly, the things that I do incorrectly. You guys get to be along for the ride with me in this journey as I learn new things. But the one important thing that you continue to do is you have to keep showing up no matter what. And that's what we're going to continue to do. We're not going to give up. Failure is not an option. Winning is, in fact, the only option. So today, let's talk a little bit about the goals for the day. First on the goal list is we're going to be looking into something I'm considering. I was actually talking to some people in the Discord this morning, all pretty cool people, and we were talking about maybe creating a new open source project called Bridge Loop, which would be basically a competitor of Ralph Loop, but with some additional features built on top of the Ralph Loop. So we'll get into that, but that's the first goal of the day, is that I actually want to look into that and I want to figure out, okay, how hard is it? What is Ralph Loop actually made of? And could we actually introduce some sort of open source project called Bridge Loop? As you guys know, this is the fastest growing vibe coding community on the internet right now. We have a huge community, and one thing that as a community I think that we should do is that, you know, we should start open sourcing projects like potentially this Bridge Loop. So Bridge Loop, that's going to be the first goal on the list, and what we want to do there is we just want to look into the actual, like, what is Ralph Loop made of? How does it function, and should we create some sort of open source project that the BridgeMind community can work on called Bridge Loop? So we're going to take a look at that, and we're also going to take a look at a couple other things. First on the list is we're going to be looking at deploying production, okay? So here's the thing. So if you guys look at the website right now, we did deploy a recent update to the BridgeMind.ai website, and we do have our Vibathon. And something that's very, very important is that we actually need to get our we need to get this production website deployed so that people will actually be able to enter the Vibathon, because right now we do not have our infrastructure deployed. This is inherently like a this is like just front-end UI, right? And we have our API structured, we have our database structured, but we haven't actually deployed it. So I want to show you guys my GitHub, and I want to show you what we've done so far. So let's go over to the BridgeMind organization real quick. And what I want to take a look at is I actually want to show you guys what this looks like in the current state of the deployment for BridgeMind. So let's go over to repos, and let's go over to the BridgeMind CloudFormation repo, and we're going to go over to GitHub Actions. I'm going to show you guys what this actually looks like so you can see what the state of things actually are. So this one failed, but this one here, this is our AWS infrastructure, okay? It's a CloudFormation project, and this is the development infrastructure deploying, right? It's deployed successfully, but there's a couple things, there's a couple nuances that we're going to have to look at and address. But that being said, you know, we'll take a look at that. So let me start a poll real quick in chat. We are going to be doing a cold plunge at 400 likes. We haven't done a cold plunge in like, what, a week? So I'm going to put that up here. All right, let's go. So we do have 123 people watching right now, and we've only got 21 likes. So if you guys haven't already liked the video, make sure you do so. Somebody said that there's a Claude outage that's ongoing. BW just said. Phantom said that some people say Opus 4.5 is bad. I mean, some people will say anything and everything, right? So I think that Opus 4.5 is still pretty good. But yeah, some people are saying that Claude is down. Let's actually check. Claude down. So here's the Claude status. Okay, so they say that there's been elevated errors. I don't think I'm having issues on my end. Let me know in the chat if you guys are. All right, so I just pinned this in the chat as well. If you guys haven't already joined the Discord community, make sure you do so. I'm going to pin this as well. Also, I do need to ping the Discord and let everybody know that we are live. Give me 1 second here. All right, let's go. All right, let's go. So we are going to be streaming for 4 hours, and I have a meeting around like 3:30. So let's see. This looks fine on my end. I mean, here's Claude. It looks good. But let's actually kick off our first prompt here. I want you to launch 5 subagents and gather complete context on the Ralph Wiggum loop and Ralph Wiggum in general. I'm considering creating a new open source project called Bridge Loop, which is a competing tool to Ralph Loop. But I need to have a full understanding of how the Ralph Loop actually works. Would you please review this GitHub repo and come back to me with all the information that I need to know about understanding the Ralph Wiggum loop and how it works and what we need to do to potentially reverse engineer this. All right, so we're going to be potentially reverse engineering the Ralph loop and building on top of it and making it better. So let's actually look up Ralph Wiggum. I'm pretty sure that it's a Ralph Wiggum plugin, GitHub. All right, let's go here. All right, cloud code Ralph Wiggum. All right, so here's the plugin. I thought, isn't there a Ralph? Like, isn't this open source somewhere? This is from, like, I'll just paste this in here. Let's just copy the raw file and drop it in here. Create a README file with everything that I need to know about how we could potentially reverse engineer Ralph and actually make it better. Okay, so I need to understand the basics of this. I want to understand how it works. Okay, I will. Okay, also, there is somebody from the BridgeMind community that he... I want to... Okay, hold on. Okay, I want to make sure that it's okay to share on stream before I share it. All right. So Mega said, very impressed. Did you fly in Resin last time I came to 3K? Yeah. So if you guys missed the past couple days, you've missed a lot. I thought Claude already integrated Ralph Wiggum. Yeah, it does. What about BridgeVoice? Yes, BridgeVoice is. We were working on that yesterday. So let's actually get some of these services running. I do need it. Hold on. Let me launch ChatGPT real quick. So we're going to continue to work on BridgeVoice, but the one important thing, so as you guys know, we're working on a suite of vibe coding products right now, okay? So we're working on a suite of BridgeMind vibe coding products, and one of them includes BridgeVoice. And I'm going to show that to you guys right now. If you guys were watching yesterday, this was a big thing that we were working on yesterday. But if you go to the website and you actually go to the roadmap page in the footer, if you go to BridgeMind.ai and you go to the footer, what you're going to see is you're going to see a roadmap. And on that page, you can actually check out the BridgeMind roadmap right now. We are building a suite of vibe coding tools that we plan on launching several of them in February during our Vibe-a-thon. Now, it's incredibly important that, during our Vibe-a-thon, I actually was talking to a couple people, and it sounds like people are working on projects right now for the Vibe-a-thon. So I'm very excited to see what you guys come up with. I think this is going to be a great event to help bring our community even closer together. If you haven't already joined the BridgeMind Discord, make sure you do so. This is the fastest growing vibe coding community on the internet right now. Okay, let's go into our database here. Actually, I don't even need to go to the database. Let's CD out of there, and let's go to, we do have an app. One thing I want to take a look at, though, is I do want to get our, let's see, we have the UI running. Let's get the BridgeMind Electron app going, and let's start this. And then let's also CD into BridgeVoice. All right, so BridgeVoice. Well, I want to make sure, is it BridgeVoice? Okay. Let me get this set up, and then we'll get going. All right, what is it? It's okay. Okay, perfect. All right, so this is now up and running. Tory Dev, perfect. Okay, we're good. All right, so here's BridgeVoice. As you guys know, this is what we were working on yesterday. We also have, we're calling it BridgeSpace, but this is basically going to replace Warp in our workflow, right? So BridgeSpace, this is like basically a unique terminal space, very similar to Warp. And this is going to be included with the BridgeMind subscription. So for one singular BridgeMind subscription, you're going to be able to get access to all this entire vibe coding suite of products that is going to be able to replace several different tools that we all use in our vibe coding everyday workflows. So let's see here. Brother Codes, let's go. Yeah, I've seen that. All right, let me put something up on stream real quick. All right, once we get to 400 likes, we are going to be doing a cold plunge today. Let me put this up here. Hold on. All right, let's kick off a couple agents. All right, 400 likes equals cold plunge. Let's get it. And we are going to be going for 4 hours today. Then I have a meeting that I have to jump on. All right, 400 likes equals cold plunge. Let's go. Okay, so we do have the API up and running. We have these now up and running. Okay, must set a key in settings first. Okay, BridgeVoice. So the big issue that we were stuck on yesterday is during this onboarding process when we're trying to actually sign in, the issue that we have is this app is having issues with authentication, okay? Sign in, open BridgeVoice. Okay. Warren Dev, what's up, man? Yeah, we're at 37,000 right now in revenue. GSD is the move. All right, hold up. Let's see. Okay, Brother Codes is saying, I have seen this here. Is it this here, Brother Codes? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, I have seen this. All right, so this here is, yeah, I've seen it. So this is called Get Shit Done. And what this is this is similar to, this is a lightweight and powerful meta prompting, context engineering, and spec-driven development system for Claude Code by Tasha's. Okay, I have seen this, and I'm pretty sure that there's a crypto coin for this as well. So Ralph Wiggum, Get Shit Done. Let's see, Ralph. Where's the? Does anybody in the chat? Can you guys? Can we drop the? Does somebody have the link to the Ralph Wiggum plugin loop? Hold on, let's see if we can find it. All right, let's see here. All right, this is gonna be able to run this. Perfect. I want you to review BridgeVoice desktop and launch 5 agents that will review the authentication process where users click sign in, they get redirected to the website, they sign in, and then they click open BridgeVoice. And right now when they click open BridgeVoice, it is meant to redirect them back to the application and sign them in correctly. But right now, this is not working. I need you to review this logic and diagnose why it's not working, gather all the context that you can, and figure out what is wrong with this and fix it so that this authentication process does work as intended. I mean, we can even use Ralph Wiggum for this, right? So, like, let's go and look at, for Ralph Wiggum, like, one of the annoying things about Ralph Wiggum, in my opinion, is, like, just having to prompt it with the correct, like, here are your task definitions. So you run once. repeat until completion. Okay, so we can even do a Ralph loop here. Let's see. I mean, we're already launching 5 agents, though. All right, hold on. Let me copy. All right, I guess I can just open Whisperflow and get out of Whisperflow because we don't have BridgeVoice up and running yet. We do need to fix that authentication issue, which we were having, but I think we will fix it today. All right, here it is. Let's copy it, and let's do Ralph loop. So start a Ralph loop. Oops. Oh, that's not good. All right, cancel active. Okay. Yeah, I blew up on X, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so if anybody missed the past couple streams, you definitely want to check X. All right, so let's go here. This looks good. So this is the executive summary of the this here. Okay, that looks fine. Okay. All right. Also, guys, just so you guys know, I've been hanging out in the co-working space each morning before the streams. This is a great way to be able to get to know other people in the BridgeMind community. We've been hanging out there in the mornings before the stream. It's pretty cool people I've met there. Okay, so let's see here. Real world results, 50,000 contract for $297 API costs. Yeah. Okay. How could we potentially reverse engineer the Ralph Wiggum loop by creating an open source project called Bridge Loop that will take a similar but better approach to Ralph Wiggum and make it similar, easier to be able to use it, better system, better structure. I want you to help me plan and structure this out. Okay, and maybe we can use, what if we built a better Ralph Wiggum loop using Ralph Wiggum? What do you guys think? All right, let's check it out. So I'm gonna use a Ralph Wiggum loop for this. Okay. Ralph Wiggum, how to use. All right, so this here is like the guide, awesomeclaw.ai. This is the guide on how to use this. All right, so let's just enter this in Claude. And we're gonna use a Ralph loop right here, and we're gonna use a Ralph loop to build Bridge Loop, and we're gonna build an improved version of Ralph Wiggum using Ralph Wiggum. This is my prompt, but I need you to make it better. Also look at the context here. So I had to do a big research finding. It came back with this research, Bridge Loop research. Let's actually pull up this here. Let me go to cursor and actually pull this up. Oops. All right, pull up cursor. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. So here's cursor. Let's go to the docs that it created. Where are the docs? Docs, Bridge Loop. Okay, so let's go over here to docs, Bridge Loop research. Okay, here is the research, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the research that Claude Code did. I'm gonna go over to Claude. I'm gonna input the Ralph Wiggum information, and I'm gonna input the initial prompt and then the information. I need you to give me the exact prompt to start a Ralph Wiggum loop that will build Bridge Loop. All right, Bridge Loop, let's go, guys. I mean, this should be simple enough, right? Okay, let's see what chat's saying. Okay, somebody, Abdul said I am creating a Ralph that would take all that and make everything be simple, and in CLI it will be open source. Okay, cool. That sounds awesome. Yeah, you should submit that for the Vibathon. Use continuous Claude much better than Ralph Loop, in my opinion. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, on Twitter we got a couple. We got pretty viral on Twitter. Okay. Output this in an artifact that I can just copy and paste into my Claude code. Oh, I think it already did. Okay, this is the prompt you'd use to have Claude Code build bridge loop using the Ralph Wiggum technique itself. And then it gave me this. Okay. Oh. What happened there? Alright. Oh, I think Claude may be down. Yeah, is Claude down? Oh, that stinks. Anybody else having issues with Claude? Claude status? There we go. Alright, Claude code authentication issues. Alright, I just had a couple issues with Claude myself. They've been having more problems lately. So I just had that and then now I lost it. That kind of stinks. Alright, we'll come back to that. Alright. Alright, let's open up Whisper Flow. Alright, go here. Perfect. I need you to update the pricing page for Whisper Flow. Slow. Okay, people are saying that Claude code's working for them. Okay. Yutzi asked, how do I not hit usage limits? I have the Claude 20x plan. So with the Claude 20x plan, you get a ton of usage. So you don't have a ton to worry about when you're on that plan, unless you're launching like a ton of sub-agents. Currently, the pricing page is outdated and not actually accurate. So for free, the free plan allows users to create their account and have access to BridgeMind. The Pro plan allows for complete access to all BridgeMind products, including BridgeMCP, BridgeSpace, BridgeVoice, and... Okay, hold on. Whisper Flow is being like really slow today. I don't know why. Alright. Alright, do you need to update the pricing page? Let's go to the roadmap. You can review the roadmap page for reference, but you need to update the pricing page to correctly reflect this. I also need you to make new pages respectively for these products: BridgeMCP, BridgeCode, BridgeSpace, and BridgeVoice. Man, Whisper Flow is so slow today. We need to get BridgeVoice up and running today. We got to get this authentication issue solved today so that we can actually get this working. Yeah, I want to use it. So, yeah, we did rename BridgeChat to BridgeVoice. BridgeVoice is going to be faster and more reliable than Whisper Flow because it's running local models, right? So, we should be able to get that up and running. We just have a issue with some of the authentication, so... Alright, let's get it. We reached 30K on, what was it, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. Okay, somebody said that Claude's working for them, so let me pull it back up and see if we can get it working. Alright, I'm still having issues running Claude. Claude Code's working fine, but Claude, the web app is not working. Oh, there we go, finally. Yeah, check this out. Oh, jeez. Yeah. It's not really working. See this? Not sure why. Alright, these are working here. Perfect. Also, if you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so right now. We've got, what is it? We've got 119 people watching, only 82 likes. So if you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Let's see here. These are all working now. How could we potentially reverse engineer the Ralph Wiggum loop by creating an open source project called Bridge Loop that will take a similar approach but better approach to Ralph Wiggum and make it easier to use? Better system, better structure. I want you to help me plan and structure this out. I would like to use a Ralph Wiggum loop for this. I had a really good prompt, but I lost it. Maybe I can use Gemini. I'll use Gemini instead. Would you help me write the correct prompt in the correct syntax so that we use Ralph Wiggum for this prompt? Output the exact content to put in for a Ralph Wiggum loop that will build Bridge Loop. Alright, we'll just do Claude Code since Claude Desktop or the actual web app isn't working. Also, Whisper Flow. Is anybody else having this issue with Whisper Flow? Super slow. Alright, perfect. That'll be good. Alright guys, let's hit some push-ups, let's go. Also, look who we got. I don't know if you guys have seen him today, but we have a special guest, Big T. Come on, let's have Big T do a couple tricks. Big T, come here, dude. Come here. I know you like these. Come here. Sit. Sit. Shake. Good boy. He likes these. He likes the vibe goggles. Alright, so let's hit the push-ups. Let's go. Alright, chat, let's go. Let's go. Bridge loop coming in. Let's go. Alright, so this one's gonna actually create this for us. Okay, cool. Super Combo, what's up, man? It's going good. Yeah, Open Goat's pretty good. Okay. This says that it's fixed. We'll see though, right? Okay. Alright, so BridgeVoice is going to launch. And the biggest thing is authentication here. Okay. All right, Joe Mason in the chat said he just saw that Codex apparently now has subagents. That's new to me. Hold on, let's check this out. Okay. All right, apparently Codex now has subagents as an experimental feature. Toggle beta features. Oh yeah, check it out. All right, shout out to Joe Mason. So, like, if you guys use Codex, you now can use multiple agents. So, allow Codex to spawn and collaborate with other agents on requests, formerly named collab. So, we'll toggle that on and test this out. All right, then let's just restart. I want you to launch 3 agents that will review the authentication of BridgeVoice and the authentication process. As right now, I launched BridgeVoice, and what I have to do in order to authenticate is I click sign in, I get redirected to the website, I sign in on the website, and then I need to get redirected back to BridgeVoice, and it needs to be able to authenticate me there, and I need to move on to the next part of BridgeVoice. But currently that's not working. I'm able to sign in correctly. I get shown the open BridgeVoice alert on BridgeMind UI, and then I open it, but then it's not working correctly. So I need you to review this logic and help me get it working, figure out and pinpoint exactly what is wrong with it, and then update the code respectively to get this authentication process working fully. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? Oh, shoot. Okay, this is new, guys. All right, wow. All right, so look at this. It said, I'm preparing to spawn 3 agents in parallel without adding skills. All right, Codex is up in their game a little bit. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever launched agents in Codex. That's actually pretty good. All right, let's go here. Yes, start the loop now. Yeah, we are at 37K. All right, shout out to Super Combo Gamers. Super Combo said we are supposed to be getting Grok 4.2 and GPT 5.3 this month or next month, and another Gemini 3 Pro is in the works. Let's go. No, we did make, we're at 37K in revenue. If you guys missed the past couple streams, you missed a lot. We basically went viral on X. Okay. All right, added rooftop products with passive for all 4 products. Perfect. Would you add a drop down in the nav bar for this? So, for example, there should be a new link called products in the nav bar. and it should drop down with these. Perfect. Yeah, if you guys want to see, so this is the tweet that went viral. We basically got posted by levels. Then, as you guys know, we did a bridge poll where we basically launched a crypto coin and then proceeded to burn over $100,000 on stream. You guys can go check it out. The big part of the tweet is mission over money. This happened in what, day 121? But this is big. So here is the viral tweet. Where is it? All right, this one has over 1 million hits, 1 million views, and then we also got posted by levels, which got like 1.6, and then another guy posted us and got this guy, Amrit. This is so funny. All right, this guy, he posted a post as well, and it got like 2.6. Yeah, it was this. So this one here, this one got 2.9 million views. So yeah, we went pretty viral on X there. So shout out to everybody that's watching on X, by the way. We now have a pretty big X following, so shout out to you guys. If you're watching on X, let's go. View Creator is at over $1,000 MRR. And then with BridgeMind, you know, as you guys know, we're working towards launching our suite of vibe coding products. And I'm really excited to launch that next month. We do have the Vibe-a-thon coming up, and I think that during February, we're going to be able to launch this suite with that subscription. So let's actually see the updates that this agent has made. So it made a couple updates to the site to add in these products. So let's see this here. So we have BridgeMCP, BridgeCode, BridgeSpace, and then BridgeVoice. So these are the products that we're going to be launching in our suite. Then over on the pricing page, I did have to update this. So BridgeMind account access, public YouTube content, monthly newsletter. Okay, BridgeVoice, BridgeSpace, BridgeCode, BridgeMCP, priority support, perfect. All right, so that looks better. And then how does this actually look? Yeah. All right, BridgeMCP, BridgeCode. All right, so right now we'll just have this be, I don't really like all the gradients. Let's use Gemini 3 Pro to fix this. All right. All right, bridge loop. So this is getting created. Here it is. All right, bridge loop. And then we also have, let's drop the UI in. Check out the product pages for BridgeMCP, BridgeCode, BridgeSpace, and BridgeVoice. And I need you to significantly improve the styling of each of these pages. What I need you to do is I need you to remove the gradients and update the pages to follow the theme and styling of the website. Look at the home page, for example, and follow the best practices that you see there in the theme of the website. Here's the playlist. I saw somebody just drop that in. Here's the playlist. This is a new UI from Cursor. Here, it's loading. Oh, wait, hold up. Yeah, Mac 3 Pro. You can please some of the people some of the time. Okay. Let's go here. I use Cognito for authentication. All right, so Codex is still working here. All right, so these are agents from Codex. This agent, this is the first time that I've actually used agents from Codex. It's an experimental feature. Looks like they're all completed now. It's interesting. I mean, this will make me consider buying ChatGPT Pro again, to be honest. Yeah, super combo. Okay. Okay, so this is now done. I want you to create documentation for this. Okay, so it literally says that it's done. So CD bridge loop, and then here's the what it wants us to run. Is there documentation? So we just created bridge loop. ChatGPT coding trash? I don't think so. Astrobot just said that. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing with Codex. The biggest issue with Codex to date is that, you know, in my opinion, you have Claude Code, which has all sorts of things like skills. You have things like subagents that make it so much better than Codex. But the thing is that Codex did just release subagents here. In order to toggle it, you just have to go to experimental. So here, toggle beta features. I guess it's disabled while tasked in project and process, but that's how you do that. I have not tested AMP code, no. Okay. Alright, this is much better. Cool. This looks a lot better. I don't really like the icons that are used in it. In the drop down of products, I don't really like the icons that are being used. Remove the icons, it's good, just text. All right. All right, BridgeVoice. All right, Bridge Loop. So we need documentation. So Bridge Loop is an improved Ralph Wiggum. Okay, create a new directory inside of Bridge Loop called Docs and make sure that you provide all the documentation that's needed for this there. All right, perfect. All right, so it's going to create all the docs for that. That is close to auto compaction. Is Codex done? I mean, here's the thing. Codex is already like inherently very slow. So I'm interested to see like how slow is it going to be with subagents. But this does make me kind of consider using like ChatGPT Pro because Codex with subagents is probably going to be decent, right? I mean, Claude Code is basically unusable. Okay, updated the BridgeVoice desktop app auth. Man, that wasn't too bad. How long was that? I can't see it, but what was that? Maybe, 14 minutes right here. So 14 minutes, it launched 3 subagents. Let's now see if it actually works. Let's restart it real quick. Hold on here. Let's restart this and see if, I mean, I've been struggling with that authentication issue since yesterday. We have it working well with the Electron app, but for this application, it's different. And for some reason, a little bit harder, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, still not functioning correctly. Verify Vite web URL. Oh. Okay, this may be... Verify Vite web URL and next public app URL are the same origins. Let me check these environment variables real quick, and then we'll see if that could be the issue. All right, so the Vite URL. All right, that's good. And then over on next public app URL, let me check that as well. Okay. Yeah, they are the same. Okay, I've checked both those environment variables and they are of the same origin, but I'm still having the same issue. I literally have multiple BridgeVoices open at the same time. That's like another issue. Why is it that I have multiple agents, multiple BridgeVoice applications opened at the same time? There just seems like there's a lot of issues with this. I want you to launch another 2 agents and figure out why this is still erroring and having issues in this way. Okay. Yeah, vibe-coded apps are definitely maintainable. No, the 37K is legit. Yeah. All right, documentation. Who is this guy? All right, Vernon Dead said, maintaining AI code with AI code, at what point does it become sloppy and unperformative, or is that already the case? I mean, I've launched products in companies using AI, and it's worked out well. So I think my perspective on it is that it does work, and I've seen it work in practice. So that'll always be my perspective on it, just because I've seen it work in practice. Okay. How's this looking? Let's see here. All right, that looks a lot better. BridgeMCP, Bridge Code, BridgeSpace, BridgeVoice. Pricing. All right. That looks better. Note that Bridge Code is a vibe coding CLI tool that is for AI coding and vibe coding and agentic coding. Update accordingly. This is still compacting. These agents are running. Thanks, Collective. Appreciate it. Okay. Okay, now how do I use the bridge loop? Yes, I do. Improve SEO. All right. All right, see what this looks like. CLI for vibe coding, perfect. All right, a command line tool for vibe coding, AI coding, agentic development, express intent, delegate to agents, and ship from your terminal. Perfect. Launching February 2026. Okay, perfect. This drop down is just a little bit off. Review the styling of the drop down for products in the nav bar. I want you to fix this, review this, and fix it. Okay, perfect. Also, guys, if we get the 400 likes, I am going to do a cold plunge. I don't know anything about a snowstorm super combo. How much is your monthly bill of Claude? I spend $200 a month. I have the 20x plan. Okay, let me create a bridge loop prompt to improve it. Let's go, Taylor. Nah, I think that, you know, we've talked about the 37K so many times. I'd be talking about it all day if I answered everybody that talked about it in chat. I'll try and create a Nightbot command or something so that we just don't have to keep addressing it. I think, you know, guys, we're moving forward, so let's just move forward. All right, or create a config file. All right, start a bridge loop start. Okay. Help me understand how I can make this an installable plugin, though, with things like Claude Code. How do I make this a installable plugin? Alright, I think Codex finished here. You know what's interesting with Codex is it said that it launched these agents and then it never finished them. Are the agents done working? BridgeVoice works with local AI models. SG, if you've missed the last couple streams, I would definitely go back and watch them. Or check my X. Okay. And what we're working on now is we're building a suite of vibe coding tools that are going to be released next month in February. Just as a reminder, we do have the Vibe-a-thon that's coming up in February from February 1st to February 14th. There's $5,000 in prizes. To people that are creating open source tools that improve vibe coding. So that could be skills, it could be, you know, an actual CLI tool, it could be really anything. Right now I'm using Warp, yes. Okay. Alright, Super Combo Gamer just drops an X post. Let's see what it says. Gemini 3.5 early checkpoint or can be pro GA. Our team is testing this on Studio for a week at least. Soon we will post various types of tests. Okay, there's some people are saying this is Gemini 3.5. Initial checkpoint, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, we could probably, we're going to expect a couple new model drops here soon, so I'm excited to see it. I need you to run npm run build and fix any build errors. Linka, it's actually, so right now only the UI is deployed. We're still working on deploying the backend and database. Okay, Bridge Loop is now an installable plugin. Here's how it works. npm global install, npm install global Bridge Loop. Local development. Okay. Yes, I want you to first help me actually get this working before we publish it to NPM. I want to confirm that it will work for me personally. All right, so it already is ready to publish it to NPM, but we're going to want to make sure that this this will actually work locally. Somebody just asked about the music playlist. Here's the music playlist. What do I think of Codex? It's okay. It's trying to fix an issue right here. Both main and dashboard windows mount use auth mode, so the same deep link is processed twice. One exchange succeeds, the other fails and can clear the token, which looks like auth never completes. Shows both windows by default. Okay. So let's try this. Let's try... Hold on, looks like there's an error here. Let's see if we can fix this error. Okay, there is an error here. Fix this error that you created. Alright, so we did just fix this. Let's go over here now. When I click open BridgeVoice on the alert after I successfully authenticate, it's just launching an additional BridgeVoice window instead of actually authenticating and redirecting me back to the existing opened BridgeVoice window. Why is this happening? All right. Yeah, speech to text makes you a lot faster. Yeah. Yeah, speech to text is like I can type at about 100 words per minute and then I speak at about 172. So in terms of me being able to speak out my prompts, it's just a much more efficient way to be vibe coding and working in general. Like I even use speech to text when I'm just using my computer in general now. I don't like really use my keyboard that much. Okay, so this is done. Test hook manually. I want you to test this for me. I'm still having this issue with the deep link. But I think Codex will be able to figure this out for us. Okay. I've tried anti-gravity. I'm not a big fan of anti-gravity though. Alright guys, let's do some push-ups, let's go. Alright, so this right here, this instance is actually creating bridge loop. So we're seeing if we can kind of reverse engineer the Ralph Wiggum loop and make it better with bridge loop. We'll see what happens here. In Codex, this is working on our deep link issue. Yeah, I think we'll be able to fix that as well. Let's go here. Alright, let's hit some push-ups. Alright, I'll get back. I'm gonna use the restroom. Alright, let's go. All right, would you like me to try to test? Okay, so here. Create the 3 files in Next.js, readme. Okay. Yeah, so right now we're, I use a lot of Claude Code for it. Claude Code mainly. All right. Okay, so let's open up a new terminal. And to test this, we have cd into this directory here. Close this one. Close this one as well. Alright, you're removing quit instance. Okay. Help me understand what exactly is causing this issue. Why can I not authenticate in dev? Like, what is the core issue that we're facing here? Review this. Alright, so in dev, the OAuth callback, BridgeMind auth callback is not being delivered to the same running instance that initiated login. macOS resolves that the custom URL scheme to a specific app bundle, often the installed build, not the dev build, that launches a fresh instance with empty local storage state, so the callback isn't match state or exchange the code for tokens, and the original dev instance never gets authenticated. Secondary effect, even if the same app receives it, both windows can process the same callback, and the single-use code gets used once. Then the second attempt fails and can clear the token. So the core blocker is deep link callbacks landing in the wrong process instance during dev. If you want, I can implement a dev-only schema. I want you to review the BridgeMind Electron app and help me figure out why authentication for that application works, but then not this one. Help me understand the key differences there. Why is there such... Why does it work in the Electron app, and then here we're having all these issues with authentication? Because in the Electron app, this works great, right? So I'm just confused on, hey, why does it work over there, not over here? I think we're going to be able to get to the bottom of it. Okay. Alright, comparing Electron versus Tori and BridgeVoice. Okay. And then this. Okay, settings error. Cloud settings schema, invalid schema. Okay. I got this error. What caused this? Okay, here are the core differences. The Electron app guarantees the same running process receives the deep link callback and processes it once, while BridgeVoice in Deb often sends the callback to a different app bundle instances, sometimes handles it twice. Protocol registration in Deb, Electron explicitly registers itself as the handler even in Dev. Which relies on static bundle registration. Really almost simply have it, okay. Official Sapphire, what's up? Okay. The deep link is opening a different app bundle than the dev instance, so the running instance never sees the callback and can't exchange the code. Even if it does receive it, multiple windows can race the same code state. Alright, use a dev-only scheme and register for the dev build. Keep single instance routing plus forwarding. Ensure only one window handles deep links. Okay. Okay, perfect. Alright, so it is testing this. Oh, it is working. We're building BridgeMind.ai. We're building a suite of vibe coding tools right now. All right, so it does look like it works. Let's drop this in. Review this. Did Bridge Loop actually work? Okay. Would you clean it up so that we can test it correctly? I want you to run this in a new terminal. Right now we're looking at basically building Bridge Loop, which is a improvement built on Ralph Wiggum. All right, let's go here. Let's see. Okay, if you want to behave, I can start this. Yeah, Lone Perker, pretty much, yeah. You live and you learn. Okay, let's see if this worked. Review this here. Did this work this time? Okay. I think there's a way that we can make it so that Bridge Loop will also work with the BridgeMCP, but it looks like this is working. So cloud create files, promise wrote, hook blocked, exit, perfect. Bridge Loop is working. Okay, so it says that it's ready to publish. So how would somebody use this as a Claude plugin after we publish? How would they use it as a Claude plugin? Claude plugin. Come on. So how could somebody use this as a Claude plugin after we publish? Okay. Right now, we're just kind of exploring it, Dev. Astro, what's up, man? You know, I think that we'll be able to kind of brainstorm a little bit about the improvements that we can actually make. But right now, we're kind of just exploring, hey, how hard is it to actually build this? And where can we take it? Okay, that's it. The hooks automatically intercept Claude's exit and force continuation until the task is complete. What gets installed? Okay. Add this to the README for publishing. Great, now, okay, hold on. This is gonna auto-compact. How can we make it so that users can easily install this and then use it inside of Claude Code, inside Codex, inside Gemini? Explain to me what that process looks like. Let's go, Dev. Alright, dual confirmation provided. Cool. Okay, so bridge loop install, bridge loop start. Custom command. Okay. Alright, this one's working. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be back. Okay. What's up, chat? I'm back. Okay. Alright, use a dev-only schema and register to the dev build. Keep single honest. What is the best practice in this context? I'm not sure what the best move is here. What do you think? Volcan, what's up? Thanks, Fish Sapphire. Okay. Okay, I want you to update the code respectively to integrate this best practice. Gelgum, let's go. Okay, here's readme, that looks fine. Alright, codecs. Okay. Okay, here's BridgeVoice. It did just get relaunched. Right now we're kind of just having a little bit of a more laid-back stream today. I'm not feeling the best, so. Alright, sign with BridgeMind. Let's see if this works. Alright. All right, guys, I'm going to work on this a little bit offline. I'm not feeling great right now, so I'm going to work on it offline. I'll see you guys in the future. Not feeling the best today. I hope that you guys keep on grinding, keep showing up. I just wanted to stream today so that, you know, we showed up, we streamed, and let's keep moving forward. I'm going to work offline for a bit, but I will be back. I will see you guys in the future.